Hello and welcome to Sport for Business, where we are joined this morning by Su Carty, member of the Irish Rugby Committee and Ireland's representative, one of Ireland's representatives on the World Rugby Council as well. Sue has always taken a really keen interest in the women's side of the game, from a player, a referee and an advocate. And in recent days, we have seen the launch of Nothing Like It, a new campaign to get more Irish girls playing rugby. You're very welcome back to Sport for Business, Sue.
Thanks very much, Rob. Good to see you.
Tell us a little bit about Nothing Like It. Why is this going to be different to what we've seen over the last number of years with regards to the promotion and the support of women's rugby?
Yeah, thanks very much, Rob. Look, when we look over the last couple of years, we can see there's more and more happening around the women's game in Ireland. The engagement of clubs and provinces, bringing it to the next level. In the IRFU, we launched the Women in Rugby Action Plan, and we had really great start to that, to get that rolled out and get started. And of course, like everything else, COVID has hit everything, and including rugby, of course. But that said, I mean, we were very focused on increasing the opportunity for girls and women to participate in the game, and then on the performance end, to put key things in place to progress the performance of our national teams. And really, now that opportunity is being expanded and more accessible to the girls, we really needed to look at how we communicate it, how we get every girl in the country, how we reach them and say, rugby is great, and we want to give you the opportunity to come and play. So a lot of work took place in this over about an 18-month period, Rob. So it's been a really interesting piece of work where, the research that went into it really looked at what do we need to base this on. And there's a couple of key things it's based on. Like, it is true, it is different, and it fulfills a need that someone has. And the idea, Nothing Like It, is based on a true differentiated insight that we've seen from our research. So, rugby teams, they need all shapes and sizes and all skills to blend together, respecting each other. And then winning is due to, all of that really coming together. And what we saw, like in that research, is like, what is unique and what is special about the game of rugby. And inside that work, the Nothing Like It, I suppose, tag really emerged from that.
And it is a key part to get the girls playing, because rugby has always had a very strong part in Ireland's sporting universe, but it has been very much male dominated, whether it be from Six Nations through to Rugby World Cups, through even in the current climate to the British and Irish Lions. We tend to focus on the male side of the sport, perhaps to a greater extent than others. This year, though, we had the Six Nations, which was in a solo spot in April. Of course, a couple of years ago, we hosted the Women's Rugby World Cup here in Dublin and in Belfast. Has there been a real growth in terms of the number of girls coming in to play, and what's the best way for them to actually sort of make that step from watching a very male macho kind of a sport to actually playing it?
Yeah, I think all very fair, Rob. I mean, it is traditionally a male sport, and when we look at the number of years, we're still talking about 30 odd years for women's involvement in rugby in Ireland, and the game is over 100 years old, so we've, and inside that we've learned, a lot. And within this, it's really specifically communicating to women and girls, so that we open it up more fully, to invite everyone in and discover what's there for them and what it's like to be part of, and also what it's like to be part of contributing to something like this. So that's all pretty massive. And Yeah, so that's, I suppose, the first thing. Like it is coming from that, male dominated game, but I think we've seen significant shifts in a relatively short period of time. And I think the key thing here also is we do need to do something specific to communicate and target women and girls, and really, build on what we have learned, so that they do see that there's a place for them in the game, that they do watch the guys and they also see girls and realize, oh, actually that could be me. And that's key to this campaign as well, like the visibility. When you do see, the girls playing at the top level, they see themselves potentially that could be me. So we begin to move away from women and girls being a second thought and really put them at the forefront.
We've seen a lot, and there are probably a lot of lessons to be learned from how football and how Gaelic games, the other two primary field sports in Ireland, have really pushed the women's game to the fore. A lot of that has been driven by sponsors as well. So Lidl coming in on board with the ladies football. You've seen Liberty and Littlewoods with Camogie, and you've seen Aviva putting a real sort of push behind the women's soccer team as well. Is there something to be learned from that in terms of bringing on board the multiple partners that surround Irish rugby and making sure that they are putting their weight behind the women's game as well?
Yeah, we're very lucky in Irish rugby as well. We've fantastic partners, and we launched the season structure just as part of this, and inside that we have the newly relaunched All Ireland League, and that's the Energia, supported by Energia, which is fantastic. And just last week we've launched the Vodafone Women's Interpros. So you can really see where those partnerships, they make a massive difference for sure. And, right now we have clubs all over the country, rolling out the Canterbury Give It a Try, which really focuses on that young age, coming in between the ages of 8, 14, 16, right through. So it's giving those young girls the opportunity to come right into the game. So those partnerships are massive, and we're really lucky within Irish Rugby. We have those, and they're really looking to be part of supporting and growing the women and girls game, and it really does make a massive difference. It communicates really powerfully. And then of course our national team, supported by Aon for the last number of years as well. So when you put all of that together, and really what we're looking to now is building on how we communicate it inside, under that Nothing Like It campaign, with that level of insight and research, I think we will see us move to that next level, which is really, really exciting.
Nothing Like It is the title of the campaign. Visually, it looks very striking. Structurally, it's been put together well, and hopefully it will deliver a new generation of players into women's rugby. But for the moment anyway, Su Carty, thanks very much for joining us to share your thoughts on it.
Thanks very much for having me, Rob. Thank you.
Life, it's full of lessons. And there's one classroom that teaches you more than most. It's called a pitch. Or a field. Or a bit of grass behind your house. Here we play with a ball. Kinda looks like an egg. With people that can look like anything, as long as they've got a head. Like life, it's about moving forward. Half of us are actually called forwards, when the rest of us are backs. In a world that's scary, it teaches you to be strong. In a world full of differences, it teaches you that you belong. Because each and every one of us are part of a team. And that teaches you the value of support when you're in need. For a life's worth of lessons, there's nothing like it.